So, recording from a different part of my apartment this time. I'm in my living room sitting on my recliner, looking out my window with a little late afternoon, early evening light streaming in here. But I have a lot of things on my mind all the time. But some recent conversations with some friends and colleagues have kind of inspired a few thoughts regarding muscle testing. Now, when I say muscle testing, I'm talking in the context of the kinds of things that you see therapists do. You'll also see chiropractors and other muscle workers sometimes do these sorts of things. And I'm not going to speak to the whole gamut of them because some things certainly have more merit than others. But I just wanted to say something really briefly regarding mechanisms. Specialists and experts, therapists, people with a bunch of letters after their names who perform muscle testing for one reason or another, and by that I mean, hold your arm out here, and then I'm going to push down and see if you have sufficient strength. See if you can hold that position, whatever. Some people do it very honestly. Some people are legitimately just seeing, okay, can a certain group of muscles that are responsible for this motion hold this position or resist this force or whatever? And that's a very honest test, and there are some very specific things that we can glean from that. Sometimes you get people that are making more nebulous claims. It may not be as crazy as, oh, I'm testing your organ function, and if I touch a spot on your forehead, and I know that your pancreas is doing something weird if you fail this test. That's not what I'm talking about. But sometimes people will say certain things about motor control, and it's really complicated stuff, or it sounds really fancy, but they say it with absolute certainty. You'll get a specialist saying something to the effect of, oh, I don't know, because I'm providing a proprioceptively enriched experience for this particular part of the body, I'm going to stimulate a gamma motor response that upregulates tension in this muscle and then modulates tension in another muscle to rebalance the neuromuscular system, blah, 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 blah. They say stuff that sounds really fancy, and it's basically word salad. It's not to say that there may not sometimes be something to what they're doing, but if they create a specific effect, and then they say this effect is because of something magical, that might be a red flag. Because neuroscientists and neuromuscular physiologists out there who research this, and it's their lives, will often say that the nervous system is an amazingly complex thing. It's impossible to understand sometimes even the most basic parts of it. And as a scientific community, we've barely scratched the surface. So anybody who says with absolute confidence that, oh yeah, I'm going to fix this and I'm going to do it this way and here's exactly how it works, and they put it in a nice little box, be wary. It's not that they can't be effective with what they do. In fact, for those of you who know anything about my background or what I've studied, I went through the internship for MAT, muscle activation techniques, and went through the whole course, took their jumpstart course as well. And I have noticed, and will be the first to say, that people that do this methodology can often get some pretty remarkable results. The question is, what are the mechanisms? Give me the how and the why, right? And the thing is, we don't know much of the how or the why. We know that we are doing something to a person when we test them, or when we poke around on them, when we do something to their body that seems eventually to elicit some kind of response where a muscle will get stronger after we do something. But we don't know what that something actually is. We don't know what is exactly responsible for creating a strong response. Basically, if I test a muscle and it's weak, and then when I test it again it's strong for whatever reason, we don't know what that reason is. We have some hypotheses. We have some mechanisms that might contribute, but we don't know the whole story. So I wanted to just say a few words about that, kind of spread some thoughts. I honestly think a lot of people overstep when they're talking about this, because in the fitness industry there is a desire to know, not just fitness, fitness, therapy, medicine. There's a desire not only to fix a person or to address a problem, but to know exactly why we can do it. The stark reality is that we often don't know why. I may train a client and get good results and not know exactly why those results occurred. It doesn't take away from the fact that I did something good. It just means I have to keep investigating more before I know what's really going on. So when it comes to, therapy and, like I said, specifically things involving muscle work or muscle testing, just be aware that sometimes we can get results and we have no idea what's going on. We have no idea why these things are happening. And that doesn't take away from the results. It just means that we have to be cautious about why these things are happening and what other ways we may also be able to get those same results. So something to think about. I'll speak more specifically about it if you message me or ask, if you comment or ask around or whatever. But just wanted to say a few thoughts about that.